What's going on? Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. I'm in the house. Just a little bit later, but welcome, I guess, to the ride this morning. What's going on to all of you? I realize that I know my brother is on Boss Cowboy, but I'm gonna come on anyway because I got some things to do. So I ask that for those that are here, I hope that you would share. Hope that you would share real quick. I want to share something, at least my personal thought about everybody can see what's going on, and then everybody can interpret things differently as far as free agency, as far as the upcoming draft, everything concerning the Cowboys. Everyone will have their own interpretation, and I think I have mine. It does not make it the gospel, however, just because I said it. It just what I think. Um, and I want to share it with you and see if maybe some of you are thinking maybe along the same ways that I'm thinking, and want to share this with you. Good morning to everybody on YouTube page, the Facebook page, Kick, Twitter. Those of you that are on TikTok as well. I don't even see your comments, but I'm quite sure you're there. I'm about to look now on TikTok and just see who's on there. TikTok has been really booming for me lately, and I have to make sure that I'm here. Let me get my stuff straight. TikTok is very picky too. Hey, 5, okay. Okay. What's going on? 5 says Delaney is on there. I said 12. I want to trade for that and the top tier edge in the league. Cool. Those of you that are on Twitter, what's going on? I wish I could see your comment. I just want to see something real quick. See if I can see y'all. I want to see y'all. There you go. I can see all of you there. What's going on? Hope you guys will share real quick. Share real quick if you can. Twitter is so clear when I'm looking at myself. Wow. Okay. What's going on? All right. Let me speak to everybody, then I'll get started. I won't be long at all. Somebody said Cowboys are trash. I can't even pronounce the name. You're entitled to your opinion. That's cool. I don't have no problem with it. You think the Cowboys are trash, so be it. That's how you feel about it. I ain't got no problem with it. You ain't hurting me. If you think we trash, we just trash. Hey. It is what it is. Good luck in 2026, he says. All right. Well, I hope we don't need it. I hope we don't need it, but we'll see. Listen, if you are watching before I get started, you want to contribute to this podcast, you can. My Cash App is there, $ the Big Time Show. If you're on YouTube, you can hit that super chat button. I will see you comment. I will stop exactly what I'm saying just to recognize your comment. I figured that if you want to patronize in that way, the least I can do is read your comment. You can also become a member of the Big Time Show podcast by hitting that super chat button. The options are there for you if you want to become a member there. If you're on TikTok, it's simple, $ Big Time Show. Twitter, $ the Big Time Show. But what everybody can do is hit that like button for me. Smash it for me. If you don't mind, smash it for me. Let me talk real quick about what my head is thinking. I really believe there's a paradigm shift that is going on, at least in the organization. You can actually see it, and I believe that it is going to bring a different type of pressure that we haven't had in Cowboys land in a very long time, to be honest with you. for years and years, most of you that have been Cowboy fans for years, you know that the Cowboys have been known as the most talented roster, or having one of the most talented rosters in the league. That's what we've always heard about our team. Always has been that way. And when you look at it, there's a lot of, I guess you could say it's a lot of truth to that we've been tremendously top heavy. We've had a lot of Pro Bowlers. We've had a lot of All Pros. We've had all of that. And we look pretty good at times, of course, but we haven't crossed the finish line. Hadn't had a lot of playoff success, as everybody knows. And the amazing part is that we have done this for so long. Everybody all Cowboy haters love to say for 30 years and all that type of stuff. So, we love to say all of that. All of that stuff. 30 years, you hadn't won the Super Bowl in 30 years and all that. So even though that is factual and it is true, what also should be happening is that, at least from the organizational standpoint, if it was me, I would be saying, okay, enough is enough. What we are doing is not getting it done. And that conversation has happened, but they don't know how to fix it. Ways that you can fix it, they refuse to do it. They are stuck in their ways. They're stuck in the way they want to do things, and they are not have not changed. Even to the point where a lot of people had a lot of hope this year, in the off season at least. And to make a long story short, what you're seeing now is somewhat similar to the same old things that we have been seeing over the last few years. We haven't done anything. We haven't. I see you, Cheese, over there in TikTok. You say it's a great roster, but can't do anything in the playoffs. Exactly. We haven't had it. It's just the truth. And it's time that if you're really going to change it, when other organizations are doing at least out of the box thing, where they're spending a lot of money in free agency, they're stacking the deck, as I like to call it. They are top heavy, but there have been some organizations that have reaped the benefits of doing that. Tampa Bay a couple years ago, when Brady came there that first year, they won. They won the Super Bowl. The Rams did it a year later. They went all in, quote unquote, and won the Super Bowl. So there are different ways to get to the top. New England last year, even though they didn't win it, they spent over $300 million in salaries. So in other words, they just put a team together. Look, they went to the Super Bowl. They didn't win it. Then you got the champions, Seattle, who did pretty much the same thing. They didn't go get top-heavy guys, but they got a bunch of guys that can flat out play. They're not tier 1 guys, but what they were tier 2, a collection of tier 2. So they didn't shop free agency at the bottom of the barrel like the Cowboys usually do. They didn't do that. They went and got guys from the top. I got an Eagle fan in here. Boo the Doodoo Bird. That's what we call himself. He just said, "Go Eagles." The Eagles had a general manager in Howard Roseman who didn't spare any expense. He stacked the deck as well. Whatever the defense needed, he put it there. Whatever the offense needed, he put it there. He went out and got Saquon Barkley. Went out and got Kellen Moore, offensive coordinator, our people. And guess what? They won. They won the championship. So there are different ways that you can do it. Hey, Michelle, how you doing? Good morning. There are different ways. Everybody share real quick, y'all. Y'all share if y'all don't mind. I won't be long today. Just wanted to come on here and put this out here. There are different ways that you can get the job done. It's just that the Cowboys refuse to change their way at all until this year. It's backwards for them, but it's a shifting in culture. It really is. It's a shifting in culture. It's a very, very, very bad shifting in culture. Not as bad. It's just different, and that's what I want to talk about today. If you notice, overall, as far as action goes, other than Jerry Jones talking, which you ain't gonna never stop. Wherever a microphone is, he gonna show out. He gonna say whatever it is he gonna say, and Jerry's just gonna be Jerry. Jerry knows he's an entertainer. Jerry knows that the world is listening to him, and Jerry is always gonna leave you with something. Whether it's crazy, whether it's true, whether it's false, whatever the case may be, he will always get wherever microphone is, he's very friendly with it. That's not gonna ever change. However, if you notice, Jerry and Steven have really not done anything, really. They've really, until we start talking contracts and all that type of stuff, they haven't really done anything. They've gotten out the way. And so far, if I were to ask you, who's been really driving the car so far at this very point, this offseason, is it Schottenheimer and Christian Parker, or is it Jerry and Steven? Usually it's Jerry and Steven, but this season, I got to give it to them. They have, so far, they have not really been in the way. You can tell by the coaching staff. Jerry and Steven have nothing to do with that. They don't know nothing about these coaches. They don't know anything about these guys. They don't know nothing about it. Absolutely nothing. They don't know nothing about no Christian Parker. They ain't know nothing about the position coaches, Ryan Smith, and they don't know nothing about these guys. They don't know nothing about it. They're trusting, listen to what I'm saying, they're trusting the knowledge, the eyes, and in some instances, the experience of the coaches, mainly Brian Schottenheimer. Okay. So far, they have, the only thing they have done is they made pretty much the decision probably to franchise George Pickens, which we all knew what that was going to happen. Other than that, even in the case of Javonte Williams, I believe, it's just me, I have no proof, but I believe that Schottenheimer went to bat for Javonte Williams and said, hey, I need him, pay him his money. Hey, I need him. He's a good running back. He fits out my system. I need him. I believe there was some conversation there. I believe that when it came to Pickens, I believe that it was an easy move to say, hey, we're going to franchise him from now. We'll revisit this later. We might Give him a long-term deal. I've already given you my personal feeling on that. I don't think he's going to get a long-term deal this year, at least. I think they're going to try to make him play on that tag. I hope I'm wrong, but I just didn't seen the Cowboys too long. But anyway, once you add up the Jerry Jones moves this offseason, it's not too many. It's not. This has really been the Brian Schottenheimer, Christian Parker show. It really has. Once you really sit back and get your emotion out the way and really just give credit to where credit is due, this has really been so far the Schottenheimer, Christian Parker show. You tell by the players that they got. Jared and Stephen Jones don't know nothing about these players. They don't know nothing about no PJ Locke. That's a Christian Parker guy. They don't know anything about Jalen Thompson. That's a Ryan Smith guy. They don't know anything about, they know about Rashad Gary, but Rashad Gary, that's a Christian Parker guy. They really haven't imposed their will per se on the organization. I'm talking about Jerry and Steve and them. And so when we get into this draft that's coming up, which seems to be, everybody thinking the Cowboys got more moves up their sleeves and free agency and all of that. I don't know. I don't know. And the reason why I'm saying that because the Cowboys love, and I'm putting that in all caps, they love the draft. They live for it. They love it. They love the draft more than free agency. In other words, that is their way. They still have not eliminated the concept of you build through the draft. They're really not. They're really not. They're really not. Sold out on the idea of free agency. Their idea of free agency is to go get depth, not a horse. They just like to go get the baby horse. They specialize in getting tier 2, tier 3 type guys, and they use free agency for drafting guys from the bottom end of the roster and build that way. They don't go get the top heavy. They really don't go get the top heavy free agents. That's why a lot of Cowboy fans are frustrated because they see the opportunity to go get a real big name per se, and Cowboys rarely ever do it. However, they did try to go get Crosby. Everybody knows that they did try, but the bottom line is they didn't get it done. So it's the same boat. You didn't get it done. So regardless of that, you can tell by the free agents, they're not tier 1 guys. They are, borderline bottom tier 2, definitely tier 3 guys. And then they try to hit their home runs in the draft. That's how the Cowboys operate. So the idea of the Cowboys got another option up their sleeve, I'm not sold on that. And then the Cowboys oversell who they go get. Y'all remember last year how they tried to sell us on Perion Winfrey? Man, didn't even hit the field, hardly. That's what they do. And so they're hanging their hat on Rashad Gary, who's a good football player. But in my opinion, we need more as far as edge rush goes, at least in that category. I say we need more. Gary is a good football player. Gary helps your team. He will help your team in several ways, but we need more than Gary. I applaud to Jalen Thompson. I applaud the Kobe Durant. I applaud, even though I don't know him too well, the kid that they got from the Chargers, a lot of depth pieces. You need depth. We don't want to knock that. You're going to have to get depth. It's just that depth is the first option for the Cowboys. It's not going to get a real dog, it's a lot of, a real go-getter or a guy that offensive coordinators have to game plan for. You know what I'm saying? Like this guy, if you go get this guy, we got to put 2 men on. No, you're not putting 2 men on Rashad Gary. You're just not. Unless he has tendencies where he can be disruptive. And you may have to put some attention on there. But initially, Rashad Gary does not really scare you. If it would have been a Crosby, you automatically would have been scared. Because now you got to deal with Quentin Williams and Crosby. You see what I'm saying? There's a big difference. Like that's a nightmare for offensive coordinators. As of right now, the Cowboys, in my view, are better defensively now than they were at any point last year. I believe we can almost go play football right now and be okay. I don't think that the Cowboys are the 32nd ranked defense in the league right now. I just don't think that. I believe we're better. Even with the depth pieces that we have, I believe that we are better now. I'm not saying we're a Super Bowl contending defense. I'm not saying we're even a top 20 defense. I'm not saying we're not a top 20 defense either, also. I just think that we're better. I think we're better. However, I don't think it's enough. I was talking to Marlon, my friend Marlon, last night while I used the conversation. And I made a statement to him. I said, look, I think the Cowboys probably about the 6th or 7th best team in the NFC right now as we speak, even with the better defense, even with whoever we signed. And I just don't think I don't think we're better than a lot of teams in the NFC. I don't think we got enough. Offensively, we are. I don't think we're better. Y'all want me to do it? Okay. I don't think we're better than, I just go by division. I don't think we're better than Seattle. I don't think we're better than the Rams. This is the NFC West. I don't think we're better than the 49ers. And y'all know how bad it hurt me to say that. Presently built. I don't think when I go to NFC South, I think we're better than Tampa. I think we're better than Carolina. I think we're better than the Saints. And I think we are better than Atlanta. Okay. NFC North, I think Detroit is better than us. That's 4. I think presently speaking, I think Chicago is better than us. That's 5. Minnesota is not better than us. And who else is in the North? Green Bay. I don't think Green Bay is better than us. And it's close, but I don't think Green Bay is better than us. Presently speaking. And I'm counting little injuries in too. You told me Michael Parsons would be there at the beginning of the year. I might change my mind, but I know he's not. And then you just let go of Rashad Gary. And so you're not, you just going to let go of Romeo Dobbs, their wide receiver. I don't think Green Bay is better than us. So I got 5 right now. Then in the, I said that, okay, the NFC East, as hard as I hate to say it, but I'm moving feelings out the way. Even though we beat them at least once a year, overall, Philadelphia is better than us. And I hate to say that. I hate to say that. And y'all know I'm a diehard Cowboys fan, but I hate to say it. overall, even with a struggling year, they still win the division. I mean, they're better presently speaking, until I see something different. The overall team of Philadelphia is better than us. So I just named 6 teams that I think is better that are better than the Cowboys, which in my book say we're 7th. So then what do we have to do to climb that ladder where I can change it? Well, some of you will say the roster will have to do it. Well, the Cowboys not gonna go get a superstar. They believe in the committee approach. Okay, you can have the committee approach. That's fine. Seattle just won it, but the difference between Seattle winning last year without a real superstar was that their version of free agents were tier 2, all of them. They want the bottom of the barrel practice squad guys. Seattle went ahead and got some tier 2 guys, a collection of a whole bunch of guys. If we were using a grading scale from A to F, in my view, they went and got a bunch of B guys, B plus, maybe B minus, whichever one. They didn't get no C's. They went and got a collection of a bunch of B guys, put them together, and they won the Super Bowl. So the committee stuff works, but what is your strategy on how you acquire the committee? You can't get it by going to sign a whole bunch of practice squad guys. Cowboys known for doing that. You're not getting anywhere. Because when your top heavy guys get hurt, now you're putting practice squad guys in, and 4th stringers, and 4th on the depth chart, and 5th on the depth chart. And that's what we did. All our guys got hurt. We had practice squad. Now, Seattle only got a bunch of B players, and when one went down or missed the game, they didn't drop. They kept on the same standard, same level, and they won the championship at the end. So the way I look at it is this, and this is what I'm coming to say. Pay attention to the roster this year. So far, I would say the Cowboys got a bunch of B to B minus guys, which is good. At least they're Bs, rather than going to get, guys from the XFL and, all that type of stuff. Going to get guys off the couch who ain't played in 2 years and all that type of stuff. At least they haven't done that as of yet. So right now, I'm giving the Cowboys credit. Jalen Thompson, Colby Durant, Rashad Gary, B's. I can play football with them because even though they're B's, they're starters. They're starters. Usually Cowboys get guys and they're on the bench. Or they go straight to the practice squad. This year, they went and got some starters that's going to start this year. I'm good with it. They're B's. However, the question is it enough? And beside the people that you already have, and with the 2 first-round draft picks and the rest of the draft, what are you going to do? Who are you going to pair these guys up with? The home runs this year will be from the draft, like it always seemed to be with the Cowboys. So whoever we draft at 12, if we're drafting at 20, the 3rd to 92nd pick, I believe it's 3rd round pick, and so on and so on, those will be the splash picks. Those will be the ones that they're going to hang their hat on and say, we got them for 5 years, we got them under a rookie contract, and hopefully we can turn some of these guys into Pro Bowl players, and some maybe turn into an all-pro player. That's the same pattern that we've always done. But what I'm saying this year is quite different. And I'm almost done. Appreciate all you guys hanging with me. Hit that like button. This is what I'm saying. If you notice, overall, again, Jerry has taken a back seat. Steven, overall, pretty much has taken a back seat. They, overall now, there's been some little stuff, franchise tag on Pickens, all that stuff. But what has taken so far the change at this point in the offseason, we've never seen the coaches take this much of, I don't want to use the word authority. I want to say they haven't had to hit the brakes yet. How about that? It's been the coaches. I believe the draft, because when you start talking about defensive fits for the scheme, Jerry and Steven don't know nothing about no scheme fit. I really believe that even in the draft, this is going to be a coach's draft. And even if we do pick anybody on offense, you already know that's Schottenheimer. That's Schottenheimer going to be picking that. I believe that. I believe Christian Parker and parts of his staff, because we saw parts of his staff pick their guys. Jalen Thompson is the safety is a Ryan Smith guy. That's our new defensive back coach. PJ Locke, of course, comes from Denver. That's Christian Parker guy. Rashad Gary is a Christian Parker guy. The kid from the Chargers, that is the defensive line coach guy. Forgive me for not calling his name. So Jerry, even though he don't know nothing about these guys, he's saying, "Oh, this y'all guy? All right, okay. We only signed him to a 1-year deal, but if that's who y'all need, we'll sign him." So this really is, as of now, this is the Brian Schottenheimer, Christian Parker, and all the other coaches show right now. And for that reason, I'm going ahead and say it right now. There's a lot of pressure on these coaches this year, because they are going to have to be the MVP of this team. It really ain't about the roster this year. It's about this year how well the coaches can coach whoever the roster is. We saw last year how bad of a coaching job Eberflus does. So they went out and got a real coach, even though he hasn't called an NFL game yet. This will be his first time coordinating the defense. But his reputation is there. And really, to be honest with you, just with that, once you really think about it, he has never been a coordinator. I'm talking about Christian Parker. But the Cowboys are leaning on the fact that he's been associated with Vic Fangio and Vance Joseph. It's not because he has a resume. It's because of who he's been connected to. Excuse me. It's been because who he's been connected to. is the reason why he has his job. And recommendations from everybody. It's, not that he's done the work, he hasn't done the work. He hasn't coordinated, he hasn't called one play yet from a defensive coordinator position. He's not done anything. A complete virgin. Let me say it like that. He has not done absolutely nothing as far as being a coordinator. And that does not seem like something that the Jones family would do. That's why I'm saying Christian Parker, Brian Schottenheimer specifically will have to be the MVPs of this team this season. They really are going to have to do a coaching job this year. Because even if you hit home runs at the draft, the bottom line is they're rookies. I mean, this ain't the Pac-12 no more. This is not the Big Ten Conference. This is not the ACC. This is the NFL. This is not, this is not the XFL. This is the NFL. And the players are going to have to go through growing pains as rookies. Some of these guys that we're picking up in the draft will probably be day one starters. If not, they're going to get a whole bunch of playing time. A whole bunch. They're going to have, a lot of expectations stepping into the role. It is going to take real coaching to get them to be where they need to be. So again, the MVPs of this season, I know we got Dak, I know we got CD, and I know we will have, Pickens and all of that. That's fine and dandy. It's gonna take some coaching this year. When you look at the staff, look at what they went and got. When they got a specialist and is a defensive line coach who everybody knows, they say he's the best in the business. You went out and got Ryan Smith. You went out and got the good linebackers coach. You went and got the coordinator from SMU who can be innovative in some things. You went in and got, you got Christian Parker, very young defensive coordinator. They're trusting that these young coaches can get the job done. That's not Jerry Jones. Jerry Jones usually go get experience. Y'all know that. I think Schottenheimer, of course, has his pulse, and they got their hands and the pulse on the offense. I don't think Dak Prescott at this point in his career is like a coach on the field. So I mean, you're double covered. You got a coach on the sideline and you got a coach on the field. And Dak Prescott at this point in his career, we don't have that on defense. Who's that on defense? You don't have no coach on the field on defense right now. We don't even know who our green dot guy is. I know Jalen Thompson was a captain with Arizona Cardinals. He's good. I don't think he had the green dot or nothing like that, but I'm quite sure he's very knowledgeable and know what he's doing to getting people set up the right way. I don't want to diminish his skill set, but as of right now, it's a question mark. Like who is the guy? We don't have it. So the coaching job this year, out of any year, is really gonna be extremely important. And I'm saying right now, before we even kick off the first ball, the coaching staff gonna be the MVP this year. Hey, William, I see you. I really feel like that. I really feel, just thinking about it, because it's a lot of responsibility that is obviously on, especially Christian Parker. Jerry and Steven done got out the way. They said, okay, you supposed to be this guy. So, okay, we tried it out. We went and got the experience. We went and got Dan Quinn. We went and got this. We got this guy. We went and got Eberflus. We learned our lesson. We gonna get out the way. At least this year. We gonna get out the way. You supposed to have all the knowledge. You say this the player you need for your scheme. Okay. Okay. We usually get in the way, but we get out your way, this Mr. Parker. So this is kind of different from that aspect. We want to let go of Steele. I'm quite sure there was a serious discussion on Terrence Steele. I believe, I have no evidence of this, but I believe that Brian Schottenheimer said, look, and whatever your discrepancies are about Terrence Steele, he was a part of the number one offense in the league. He was still good enough. We didn't suffer. Javonte had 1,400 yards, 12, whatever it is he had, rushing. We had no problem with running the ball. Pickens was an all-pro. CD still got over 1,000, missing over the games. Dak was still Dak, probably had his best year. And your right tackle was Terrence Steele. Why do we need to change it? Why do we need to change and have an unknown guy? Whether you're drafting one or whether you turn it over to Nate Thomas or whether you go trade for one, which they weren't going to trade for no tackle anyway. But the bottom line is, why should we change it? I believe Brian Schottenheimer probably fought for Terrence Steele because the Cowboys could have saved money. They still save money with his redoing of the deal, but it probably could have been a little bit more if they released him. I believe that Schottenheimer fought. So I believe Jerry said, okay, y'all, look, okay, we're not used to this, but we're gonna let y'all do it y'all way. There's a lot of pressure on this coaching staff. Okay? Once you really think, get your stigma of how you feel about Jerry and Steven, move that out the way and just ask yourself the question, what has Jerry and Steven really done this offseason? Other than putting the franchise tag on George Pickens. What have they done that you can say they're in the way? Once you really ask yourself that question, unlike other years, Jerry and Steven ain't done nothing this year. This really has been the Brian Schottenheimer / Christian Parker show. And that is a huge change in this organization. And I will go ahead and say it's a change for the better. Now, we ain't doing because Cowboys, hey, you say it's I care, I do. You say 7 wins incoming. Hey, I don't know. What's up, G Report? What's going on? Thank you for popping in on. If you say 7 wins, I care, I do. If you were with me earlier, I just said, I personally, as of today, and I'm the biggest Cowboy fan you ever find, but being realistic and being truthful, if you were with me earlier, I said I think the Cowboys are probably, as of right now today, probably the 6th or 7th best team in the NFC. And as you can see by my chest, I'm a Cowboy fan. As of today, I named 6 teams who I feel, you may not feel that way. Everybody else may not feel that way, but I feel that are better than the Dallas Cowboys. So it's an uphill journey all the way. Some of y'all late. Y'all want me to do it again. So for the people that came in the back door late, here we go. Here are my teams that I think that are better than the Cowboys right now. I believe Seattle, the Rams, and the 49ers are better than the Cowboys. That's 3. The NFC South, nobody. I believe the Cowboys are better than Tampa, Carolina, the Saints, and Atlanta. So there's still 3. I believe in the NFC North, I believe Detroit is better than the Cowboys. I believe Chicago right now are better set up than the Cowboys. I think they're better than the Cowboys. That's 5. And then in the NFC East, as bad as I hate to say it, and y'all Philly fans are here, I believe as of right now, even though the Cowboys beat Philadelphia every year, at least once a year, I still think Philadelphia is set up better than the Cowboys. I think I just named 5 or 6. Whichever one, I think the Cowboys fall behind. So, and that's just my objective opinion, even though I am a diehard Cowboy fan, I believe that is the case. And if that is the case, then you got to crawl before you walk. A lot of us wanted the superstars and all that type of stuff. And I don't think we're there yet. I haven't seen us yet. Now, I reserve the right to change my mind to see how we will play and how physical we are. I don't know the physicality. I don't know how dominant we gonna be. I don't know. I don't even know who we're lining up with yet. I know we got holes everywhere. We still got work to do as far as the draft, possibly going to get another free agent or something like that. But as of now, I think that they're as a whole team. Now, don't get me wrong. Offensively, the teams I just named, it ain't too many better than the Dallas Cowboy offense. Ain't no doubt about that. But as we all know, there's more to the game than just offense. And defensively, we're not good. We're better, but we're not there yet. I got to see it first. I have to see it before I can say it. I have to see it first. That's just how I roll. I know we're better. How much better will only be answered on the field. You see what I'm saying? I think we're better. But how much better will only be answered when we start playing. So I reserve the right to change. But as of now, today, I think all those teams I just named are better than the Cowboys. And that's just the NFC. So I think we got a mountain to climb. We can knock them off because some of the teams I just named, even though we lost to some of them, look, we were right there. We just didn't make a few plays. We couldn't stop nobody. I almost want to go back and look at a stat and see, just to show you how bad the defense was. I would like to go back and just add up how many times did our defense stop an offense and make their punter punt the ball. I guarantee you we got to be last at that. And I'm talking about by a mile. We didn't stop nobody. We may have stopped them from scoring in the end zone, but the bottom line is 3 points went on the board. I'm talking about how many times a game did our defense make the punter punt the football? And I want to know exactly where did we stand in that category. That will show you how bad our defense really was. When you compare probably where we are, wherever we stand, and I believe we were last at that, if you ask me. If we were last, I bet you the team that's right up above us, I bet you there's a gap there. I mean, we didn't stop anybody. Anybody. And I believe we're better suited today that I can almost say right now, let's go play some football. I'm almost there. Because the secondary, we can go play football right now with the secondary. You know, I realize that we don't know how Bland, we don't know how Bland is. Revel should be ready to play. How much better is he? He played hurt last year. I'm quite sure he's healed up by now. We should get whatever Revel has, the best of him. He's gonna be good. No question. Bland is a question mark. We just got to see it. But when you look at our pieces that we've added with the safeties and Kobe Durant, and then you still add on, we still got Josh Butler, we still got Reddish Stewart. Listen, we're ready to play football in the secondary right now. You can go play right now. Defensive line, you can go play right now. Izaraku will be ready. You don't know how that's going to be coming off a hip, but he'll be ready to go. You don't know how great he's going to be in that area, but he'll be ready to go by the time week 1 get here. Quentin Williams, of course, Kenny Clark, Gary, the kid that we just got from the Chargers. Still got Jay Toa. You still got James Houston. You just got Sam Williams. We ready to play football right now. Defensive line. I ain't saying that's just the greatest room, but I'm saying you can go play football with that. Linebacker, I don't think we quite ready yet. I don't know, because I don't know who gonna line up. I don't know. I don't know. I think that's still kind of incomplete. It's close, but it's incomplete. So I don't think we're ready to play from the linebacker position. But defensive line and secondary, we're ready to go right now. And we ain't even got to the draft yet. So we're about to add on at least probably somewhere in that area there on both spots probably. Or maybe possibly all 3 levels. We can almost go play ball right now, but after the draft, obviously, no question, we should be ready to go with whatever the roster is. But my point is this year, from, most of all of you that's in here, if you've been a Cowboy fan for a long time, if you're on TikTok and you've been a Cowboy fan for a long time, this is what you have heard about the Cowboys for years. And here's what you've heard. The Dallas Cowboys have one of the best rosters in the league. This is what you've heard for years. However, the problem has been we haven't had the proper coaching. Think about it. All those Jason Garrett teams, we complained about Jason Garrett and his offensive coordinator when opening it up. Defensively, we really didn't have a great defense all those years. We invested so much into Romo and getting the offense right. We rarely, we stumbled upon a Sean Lee. You know what I'm saying? We really wasn't known as just a great defense. But look at our coordinators, Marinelli, Dom Capers. You remember how horrible that was. You know what I'm saying? Quinn had us better, but when it came down to a knock it out, drag football game, we were horrible because we couldn't stop the run. The Cowboys would get ahead, and then, and then we'll get ahead, and then we'll pretty much have a whole bunch of pass rushers go eat you alive. There was a whole bunch of games during those 12-5 seasons that we blow people out. Y'all remember that? We did that. But when it came down to the San Francisco playoff games and stuff like that, we get punched in the mouth because we weren't physical enough. We were too small in some areas. We weren't heavy in the middle. We got a whip. Al Harris was a good coach, but he wasn't running the ship though. Chef Papa. Al Harris was a good coach. His results, look what he did for Diggs and Bland. They speak for itself. But he was not driving the car. It was Dan Quinn. You see what I'm saying? So there was question marks. We were good in some areas, but we didn't cover all the areas when we needed it the most. We didn't have it. Kellen Moore. The problem is, Kellen Moore, if you look at the stats, Kellen Moore's offenses with the Cowboys was always at the top of the list. Always. The real truth. You look at it, Kellen Moore's offenses were always up top. Always. The problem with Kellen Moore, however, was he was too finesse. And so when it came to a bully type football game, you wanted to throw the ball around. But when it came down to let's run the football, you'll look at the end of the game stats. You'll see Zeke Elliott with 10 carries. Tony Pollard with 7. Dak Prescott, 35 to 40 pass attempts. I mean, come on. You were too cute. You were too finesse. And so, coaching, game time coaching matters. And what I'm trying to tell y'all is this. Because I pretty much done told y'all, if you've been watching me, I'm not just satisfied. I give the Cowboys credit for what they've done. However, today, because the thought came to my mind, and if you've listened to me, I have given the coaching staff no fuss at all. And I believe that these coaches this year will be the difference because Parker is a disciple of Vance Joseph, who covered every area of the defense. Detail. We're going to stop the run. Then we're going to shut you down in the passing game. That's Vangio and that's Vance Joseph. That's tradition. Schottenheimer, to me, if y'all got a problem with Schottenheimer, I don't understand why. He had one of the top offenses in the league, so we kind of know what to expect. Even though you figure teams that had an off season to try to prepare for the offense of the Cowboys this year, we'll see if they still hot like they were last year. I would say so, because you got an unstoppable force in your receiving crew that you got to delegate. You got to pick your poison. And when you pick your poison, it's going to open things up everywhere else. Just having Pickens on the field, it probably dictates you got to run a 2-shell high look. You can't go single high against the Cowboys, just with Pickens being there. You just can't do it. So that opens up the running game. That opens up probably the middle of the field. Whoever your slot guy is or whoever you line up in the slot is probably going to be open, because you got to double team somebody. You're not singling, you're not going to single cornerback on Lamb or Pickens. I mean, it's just the truth. If you're a smart football player, if you don't do that, the Cowboys will score 40 points. See what I'm saying? So the Cowboys are going to be a problem. They're a nightmare for defensive coordinators. A nightmare that's going to continue for good. So Schottenheimer knows what he's doing. The jury, I guess you say, is still out on Parker, obviously, but I believe in Christian Parker. And I'm also saying that he's going to be the MVP of this team this year. not the players. And I even go on offense. As great as Dak played last year, as great as Pickens played, as great as CD came back from the injury and played, I'm saying that the coaching, game management, if you want to call it that, I'm saying, certain points, I guess the same thing as game management. I believe that this coaching staff will marry, yeah, that's a good word. It will marry the roster this season. I really believe that. I believe that the coaching and the style of coaching will marry the roster. And you're probably going to see, well, I have no question in my mind we're going to see a better defense. But I think it's going to shock some of us how well we play, because I personally believe that the Cowboys are taking, other than the splash of the draft picks that'll probably be on defense, I believe that the Cowboys primarily are going to take a committee type approach. It worked for Seattle. They got the trophy. They the world champions. It worked. They went and got a bunch of B players, borderline B plus players, a collection of them at every position almost. And they won. Without a superstar on defense, the committee approach won. But you got to get a certain type of committee. And as of now, I don't think it's enough. It's not at the bottom of the floor, but I don't think it's enough. If you're going to go the committee way, let's just make sure you give me a committee. It's just that simple. If you're not going to go get me a legitimate dog that I know going to change the defense, okay, go get me the best committee that you can give me. And I don't think the Cowboys have done that yet. I don't think they've done it yet. I don't think they've done it. Not yet. We still got time. We still have time. And I'm not necessarily saying that it has to be in the draft, because that's going to be part of the committee too. Even though they first round draft picks, third round, whatever we do, if we trade and get back into the second round, whatever. They were superstars in college, but you're a rookie in the league. They'll be a part of the committee as well. I'm still saying, before we even do that, I still think there can be a move that can be made that will give me a better committee. Pick your choice. I think they've already taken care of the secondary, so that leaves me the two levels, linebacker and defensive line again. Or edge, whatever you want, edge. I think they've already taken care of the inside, so I'm talking edge, whoever that may be. Whoever that is. A lot of talk about the kid from Minnesota trading. I don't know if that's what they're going to do. I doubt it. There's still some edge guys that are still out there. You just, if we're going the committee approach, give me a good committee. That's all I'm saying. As of right now, I don't think it's good enough. I already know about Sam Williams. I already know about James Houston. See? I know about that. I already know what they bring to the table. It's not good enough. I know about Rashad Gary. Solid player. Good player. Good football player. Still not enough. Quentin Williams and Kenneth Clark are enough. We talking superstar now. We saying superstar. There you superstar. Quentin Williams. We have one dog. I need. If we gonna have one legitimate dog, that's Quentin Williams. That's fine. All pro player, fine. Surround me with a B type guy to go alongside with him. Gary is a B guy. That's fine. Still out enough. He's a Raku. Jury's still out on he's a Raku. I don't know what he is. You figure he's gonna make a jump, but I don't know. I don't know what he is. For all of you guys that are hung up on guys in the draft, go get Cassius Howell. Go get this edge guy. Well, go get Bain, even though Bain won't be there. Go get Messador. Go get all these. Look, they rookies. What happened in Miami and Texas Tech and Texas A&M and all these different, look, that don't mean it's going to happen in the league now. Williams says Matt Milano, Matt is a good player, but he stays hurt too much for me. You say Patrick Queen. I don't think Queen would want to play with the Cowboys. I love Edmonds. I love him. Solid guy. I would love to have him. Somebody said Bobby Wagner. I don't think the Cowboys would touch him because of his age, but I believe Bobby Wagner can still play. He don't get hurt. He's solid. He's not the Bobby Wagner of the last, 5 years ago, but he's still a Pro Bowl linebacker. He's just 35. Cowboys known for signing old guys anyway. I mean, come on, let's not act like, now I don't know what this regime will do, but this is what Jerry and them will do. They'll try to sign an old guy and try to, catch lightning in a bottle, one time. I mean, they signed Jason Peters, though. Y'all remember that? The old lineman and all that. When he got clowned, they off the couch. So they will sign an older guy. Bobby Wagner would elevate your defense. As old as he is, he would automatically upgrade your defense right then and there. All those names that Williams put up. All those guys were upgraded. See, it don't take much. I'll be ready to say, let's go play some football. Those are B-type players that can help your defense upgrade and do it. Remember what we said last year, y'all. Remember what everybody said, really. That if the Cowboys would have just been the 23rd ranked defense in the league, not only would we have been in the playoffs, we could have really did some damage with this offense that we had. If you just been the 23rd defense, just imagine. Just imagine. We would have been all right. So I just exactly. Hey, Miss Verde, I see you. Yeah. You had Clowney back. I think Clowney with a full off season, rest and all that. I think Clowney still got some gas left in the tank. He don't hurt your defense. He helps it. He helps your defense. So I just today really not about it's really, even though I'm calling out names, I really don't think it's really about the roster per se. I really believe that a lot of pressure, good pressure too, I may add. I believe a lot of pressure is on this coaching staff this year, particularly Christian Parker, and Brian Schottenheimer. And I think that they are, along with their staff, I mean, I already know about the offensive staff. We saw it last year. We know the offensive staff is good. But I believe that this coaching staff, defensively, will have to be the MVPs of this season, not the players. Players going to, because Eberflus had us out of position last year, right? We had some good players, but you didn't have them in the right position. The scheme was wrong. You playing zone primarily. We got man-to-man corners. You see what I'm saying? Eberflus just messed everything up. I believe that you got a coaching staff on defense that will have them in the right position, that will have them in the right scheme. And because of that, I think you're going to have, obviously, a better defense. Even if it's by committee, it's going to be better. I just believe that. That's just my gut feeling before we even kick off the ball this year. I believe that they're going to have to be the MVPs. And I think that they can do it. Now, I don't know what that means as far as record-wise. I don't know what that means. Are we going to the playoffs? I ain't saying that. I'm not saying none of that. I'm just saying that I believe that this coaching staff, primarily the defensive coaching staff, is going to be way better than what we were last year with Eberflus. I believe. He's not the DC, William. Eberflus, he's a assistant he's assistant something. He's not the DC of the 49ers. He's a part of the defensive staff. Eberflus is. Who went out and got Osa. You don't think he didn't have anything to do with getting Osa? Eberflus loves Osa. I believe he pounded the table to go get him. I'm just saying, y'all, this is really all I wanted to say. I'm noticing the pattern, okay? I'm noticing how Jerry and Steven, number one, really haven't done anything this offseason. They really haven't. The only thing they done put the franchise tag on Pickens. They really haven't done anything other than hiring Christian Parker and allowing him to hire his own staff, defensive staff. They haven't forced a coach onto this staff. All the free agents. I believe that is the coaches' picks that Jared and them just signed them. I don't think Jared knows anything, and Steven don't know anything about Jalen Thompson. They didn't know anything about Kobe Durant. They didn't know anything about Rashad Gary. They know about Rashad Gary from years past. But as far as, I believe that was a pounding on the table from Christian Parker and everybody else. I believe Ryan Smith pounded on the table for Jalen Thompson. I believe Kobe Durant is a Christian Parker pick. I believe the kid from the Chargers, I forgot his name, is our defensive line coach pick. They didn't have anything to do with Jerry Stevens. So primarily, if anything, I believe maybe there was a discussion on whether to keep Terrence Steele from Jerry and Steven. I believe Schottenheimer went to bat for Terrence Steele and convinced them to keep him. I believe that. I ain't got no evidence, but I believe that. So overall, Jerry and Steven, as much as we like to talk bad about them, I believe they have gotten out the way. I really do. I believe the only thing that they've done is saying we're not going to pay George Pickens a long-term deal as of right now. We will put the franchise tag on. I don't think Schottenheimer had anything to do with that. I don't think, of course, Parker didn't have anything to do with that. I believe if anybody else had something to do with it, it had to be William McClay. That's it. See what I'm saying? So I don't believe that Jerry and Steven have gotten in the way. Not this offseason. They've been extremely quiet, other than Jerry doing his running his mouth like he always do it. Like I said, that's just Jerry. We know he gonna run his mouth. And he ain't never seen a microphone that he did not like. Jerry gonna talk. Jerry gonna leave you with a couple lines, have you wondering what he said, have you holding on to false hope, all that type of stuff. That's Jerry Jones. That's him. But as far as on the field type stuff and player acquisition so far, I believe this has been the Brian Schottenheimer, Christian Parker show. And for that, they're going to have to be the MVPs. Oh, okay. One more thing. Jerry and Steven have something to do with Brandon Aubrey. I'll throw that in. That when it came to Pickens and Brandon Aubrey, that's Jerry Jones and Stephen Jones thing. You know, if they don't sign Aubrey, they're gonna get a second round pick. They're probably feeling like they can't lose. If we don't sign Aubrey, they're gonna be saying, look, we got this second round pick. Now we got 2 picks in the first round. We have a pick in the second round. We have a pick in the third round. We got picks in the fourth round. We got about 2 or 3 picks in the fifth round. All the Cowboys can't lose. If we sign Aubrey, we got the best kicker in the league. That's the way they feel about it. I bet you that. And I almost want to say that half of y'all, because y'all love to draft like the Cowboys do, half of y'all want that second round pick. I bet y'all do. Some of y'all do. Some of y'all want that second round pick. So, other than those 2 instances, Pickens and Aubrey, this all been on Schottenheimer and Parker. And I believe that they are going to be, even as the season starts, they are going to be, because it's going to be a coaching job this year. Seriously. It's going to be a coaching job this year. I just got breaking news. It says that Jalen Waddle just got traded to the Denver Broncos. Jalen Waddle just got traded to the Denver Broncos. It's a great pickup for the Broncos. Okay. See, those are the type of moves. Those are called impact moves. Impact. See, Jalen Waddle, wide receiver to the Broncos. Now you imagine him with Bo Nix and the offense that they had this year. Those are called impact moves. Our biggest impact move has been Rashawn Gary. It's okay, but it's not. That's not a game changer. I gotta have some more. And if you're not gonna do, the impact game changing move, give me my committee moves. And make sure that the committee members are at least a B plus, B minus player, and let me have that and let me roll. Don't give me no C plus. Don't give me no C's. Don't give me no guy you gonna sign who automatically gonna be on the practice squad from day one. Don't give me that. That's what the Cowboys usually do. They haven't done it so far. They will eventually do that just to fill out the roster after the draft and undrafted free agents. And, of course, the XFL is getting ready to kick off. We always go get one player from there. That's fine as long if you're if you're filling out the bottom of the barrel, cool, that's fine. Just don't do the bottom of the barrel first, trying to sell me that these guys are going to be impactful players. That's what we've been doing for the last few years. Don't waste my time like that. That's all I'm saying. If we're going to do the committee approach, make sure I got a good committee. That's all I said. And let these coaches do what they do, which is coach. All right. I'll do something a little different today. I done enough talking. Hopefully it'll work. Call-in line is right there at the bottom. 901-654-6853. I ain't done it in a while. You can call in right now real quick before I get off. Appreciate all you guys hanging with me. Again, you want to call in, it's 901-654-6853. You can call in right now if you want to. And we can go with it from there. Yeah, Shane, he tried, but I don't get excited over attempts. See, Cowboy fans, I'm a bottom line type guy. I'm not giving credit for attempts. Cowboys are this almost stuff. We almost got. I don't even want to. Yeah, appreciate that. Thank you, Petersburg address. Thank you for that. Hey, if you're watching me for the first time, hit that subscribe button on YouTube for me. If you're following me if you're not following me on the Big Time Show on YouTube, on Facebook, go ahead and follow the show for me. Also, if you're on TikTok right now or X, just follow me there. If you have not, hit the like button. If you're not going to do neither one, at least hit the like button. I would appreciate that. The call-in line. Thank you, Petersburg address. Thank you so much for that. Nobody ain't called in, so I'm going to take it off. So I'm going to take it off. That's fine. Appreciate y'all hanging with me. I'm done. I've done my diligence for the day. If you want, you hit that cash app as you go out, or hit that super chat button on YouTube. If you're on Facebook, you hit those stars. Or you can hit the cash app as well. TikTok, the $, the Big Time Show. It's simple, $, the Big Time Show. Good Lord, the Broncos. Look at this deal. See this impact. The Broncos are acquiring Jalen Waddle and a 4th round pick in exchange for a 1st, 3rd, and 4th round picks. Now, I don't know if that's this year's or next year's, but that's what you call going for it. Broncos say, okay, this is the missing piece. And they're willing to trade their 1st round pick for it. That's a heavy price. 1st, 3rd, and 4th for Jalen Waddle at this point in his career. That's a heavy price. I would say that it's not a heavy price when you're saying that we're about to go for the Super Bowl this coming up season. If you say we're in a win now mode, when you're in a win now mode and you feel like you're that close, guess what? It ain't no price too heavy. That's what the Broncos just did. To the point that they'll trade away a 1st, 3rd, and 4th round picks. I don't know if that's this year's. I'm about to look now. Because if they traded that for this year, that is crazy. Y'all forgive me, I'm looking. Yep. Yep, it's this year's. They trading away their Broncos trading away the 30th pick overall. That's the first round. And then a late third and fourth round picks, 30th in each round. That's for this year's draft. So what they tell me is that Sean Payton is getting ready to try to win the championship this year. You know, the 30th pick, you know, that, you know, you get a good football player, but it's almost essentially a second round pick. And Jalen Water is going to be better than their 30th pick. You see what I'm saying? It's not even a question. It's not even a question. It's not even a question. So that's pretty impressive. That's pretty good trade for Denver and the Dolphins too, because the Dolphins are essentially rebuilding. They got multiple picks. Hey, they probably got 2 picks in the first round now. Hey, it is what it is. Good stuff. All right, I'm out. I appreciate all y'all hanging with me. Thanks for hanging. I'll see you guys a little bit later. I'm off work this week. That's why I'm on early. I'm off work this week, so I put in some daytime content. I might come back later. Well, it won't be tonight. I already saw it, Martin. I just announced it. So I'll be with you guys. Just turn on those live notifications, and of course it'll pop on your phone or computer or whatever when I'm coming on live. You get it right then. So just turn on those notifications. I can't tell you exactly when I'm coming, but I'm coming. All right. I appreciate you guys. I'm out of here, man. Thanks for hanging with your boy. Hit that like button as you go out. This has been the one and the only, the Big Time Show.